Good evening, and welcome to Rock Solid Radio. I'm Linda Hutchinson, the Executive Director of Rock Solid Families.
And I'm Merrill Hutchinson, President of Rock Solid Families. And we are excited to have you join us for the next 30 minutes as we talk about relationships. A huge shout out to our sponsors. Thank you to Maxwell Construction, Greendale Cinemas, Mansfield Insurance Agency, and Erie Insurance. We are so thankful for these businesses who have made this show possible. So whether you are listening live or online, Rock Solid Radio, helping to strengthen our community one family at a time on your hometown radio, Eagle Country 99.3.
Good evening, Eagle Country. Welcome to Rock Solid Radio. I'm Linda Hutchinson, the Executive Director of Rock Solid Families. And honey, we're going to have some fun tonight.
I do not like the sound of that. Somehow I feel like I'm being set up.
Oh, and you are totally going to be kind of called on the carpet.
Called on the carpet?
Well, I've got some questions for you. Tonight's show is all about male versus female.
Wait, we're supposed to bring couples together.
We are.
Why are you using the term versus?
She said. Okay, not versus. Male and female. His and hers. He said, she said. The yin and the yang of a relationship. So we're gonna have some fun tonight.
This just sounds weird.
I know.
I think I've got to go change the oil in the car.
But don't tune us out. We're going to be talking about the differences between guys and gals and how we can find some healthy balance of all that in our home. So stay tuned. This is definitely one show you do not want to miss.
Oh, Lord, be with me. All right, well, we better say thank you to our sponsors out there. Thanks to Maxwell Construction, Greendale Cinemas, Mansfield Insurance Agency, and Erie Insurance. Thanks for supporting us. We also want to take some time to thank all of the donors who have come behind us here. We have seen a surge in help and support here in the last month or so. And listen, every bit of it is well appreciated and used to help grow like this ministry. Yeah, getting this message out. And so what you and I have found is that teaching classes and all that sounds like a great idea, but people don't show up, right? Yeah. They're so busy. Their schedules are so busy.
Which we did a show on that.
Yeah, that busy. And so what we have found is our message through the podcast and the radio show are catching a lot more ears and bringing more people to us to go, you know what, I heard what you guys were talking about, and I feel like our family needs some help in that area. So we want to thank the people who believe in what we're doing, and we just continue to ask for your support and helping us.
You might be listening to us as you're driving, live on Eagle Country or as a podcast later because we gave it to you for homework, which we probably will do to many other couples. And I gave a podcast as a homework to a couple way back in the fall, and it was funny to go back and listen to it and just hear some of our old stories and stuff, and it was cracking me up. But I also want to let you guys know about Merrill's weekly Strong Dads podcast that comes out every Thursday. You can get it you can subscribe to it by Spotify or go to our website and download it. But they're great shows all about dads, and you have a lot of special guests, hon. I love the one recently with the Assistant Attorney General of Indiana, Aaron Negagard. That was a great show.
Yeah, Aaron showed some real, part of Strong Dads is about seeing and stressing the importance of strong dads in the home and raising kids and in the marriage. And because of his position in the state of Indiana, he works a lot with the criminal justice system and incarceration rates. And, I think this is one of the things that when you talk to somebody like him, you actually get facts like this is what they actually see every day.
Well, and he was the local prosecutor for years and years.
Yeah, whether you like him or not, he's in an ugly position in a lot of people's eyes, but his heart was big, and when he was sitting there talking about, this is what I see.
Yes.
This is what walks into our jails and prison systems, and, overwhelmingly, there is a dad problem. Yeah. And that's what he was speaking of on that particular podcast.
Yeah, he kind of put some teeth onto that. Also, we have a boundaries class. I'm teaching a boundaries class beginning October 2nd at Whitewater Crossing Christian Church in Cleves, Ohio.
I think I might need to listen to that for this show today. I might have to say, stay in your lane, Linda, stay in your lane.
It's a free class on Wednesday nights from 7 to 8 p.m. You can register by contacting me at rocksolidfamilies.org and letting us know. Or if you've been listening to any of our shows, I'm passionate, hon, about healthy and strong relationships. And it does. It starts with healthy boundaries, knowing what is your responsibility and what is not. We also have a healthy marriage class kind of a group that meets once a month at Whitewater Crossing Christian Church on Friday nights. A free childcare. It's a cheap date night, hun. Free event for any couples, young and old. If you have young ones and childcare is always an issue, man, sign up. You can just let us know at Rock Solid Families, or you can go to Whitewater Crossing and type in healthy marriage in the search bar. So, we'd love to have you join us for all those things. But tonight, hun, I got some questions for you, okay? So we decided to have some fun with this topic because we get...
Why are my palms sweaty and I'm starting to shake?
Because you haven't had a chance to look at these questions before I ask them. So we get so many couples that walk through our door that are like surprised, like their spouse looks at the world differently. Like, oh my gosh, how'd that happen?
I can't help it that you're wrong on all these things, hon. I don't get it.
So we thought we'd just have some fun tonight. Well, at the same time, I think shining some light on some really important differences.
All right. Well, men, I'm going to try to represent you well.
There you go.
So we'll see what we can do.
So I believe that God has designed us to be different, hun, and the enemy is twisted.
Praise the Lord.
And he's kind of turned it on us in marriages and families as dividing and destroying our marriages. And so first I want to demonstrate what I'm talking about. So I got some questions for you, okay? So it's a he said, she said kind of thing. So if you're out there listening in Eagle Country, I want you to think about how you would answer this question if this was a call-in show.
Is there a right and wrong to these?
No, there's not.
How come you keep laughing as if I'm getting ready to put...
Because you look nervous.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to do something
well,
to
you're
hurt
going to
you.
embarrass me.
No.
So, okay, let's roll.
Okay, so here's your first questions. If you had a day all to yourself, what would you want to do?
So what do you mean by that? Like no kids?
No kids,
no responsibilities?
no anybody. All to yourself. No one's going to know what you did. No. That might okay, never mind.
That's a different show.
The Lord will always know what you're going to do.
No. Okay, so this is... this is also showing my age of being older. Like most people are going to be bored to death as to what this would look like. But for me, if I had a day completely to myself, it would be I'd get up, I'd drink a couple cups of coffee. I'd go walk around outside, summer day, walk around.
Oh, because it's summer, because you decided it's summer.
I only live
right?
in the summer. And walk around with flip-flops. I'd assess the yard. I'd assess the world around me. I'd go in, I'd put on my old work clothes, and I would start on a project. And I would start beating that project up or letting it beat me up, whether it's building a wall, cutting trees. That would be a cool thing. I would stop about 3 to 3:30. And about 3 to 3:30, I would go in and I would put on some workout clothes, bike shorts, shoes, whatever, and I would go for an hour, hour and a half workout, bike ride or something.
There you go.
Right? I would come in. I got this down to
Man,
a T.
it's an entire
I got this puppy down to a T. I would come in.
Didn't even have
I would
question
rinse off, and then I would dream about food that I was going to eat.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and that might involve taking you out to dinner, or it might
I'm
be
not
throwing,
around. You're all by
I
yourself.
know, so I'd probably be throwing something on the grill, on my new griddle, something like that. And then I would chill in the evening.
Yeah.
I like to go out for drives if I had my Jeep or
If you
something.
had your Jeep that you used
I
to
might
have.
go out driving around. But
Yeah.
that's about how simple and boring. But it would involve working on a project, and it would involve a workout.
And summer day.
And so here's the worst thing. I didn't say anything about Jesus. So you're getting to know the real me, right?
This isn't a Jesus question. This is just like,
all right. I feel like I'm being set up, guys.
No, what I'm laughing at is that is so your dad until you started working out. Like,
Yeah, he wouldn't do the workout. He'd
But
say,
he'd
why
sit
do you
on
do
the
that?
coffee.
You just keep working hard. You don't have to work out.
He'd be sitting on the porch, drinking his coffee.
I'm not smoking a cigarette or drinking a beer, though.
No, what I love about your dad is that he smokes a cigarette and then he goes to the VA for the smoke clinic.
clinic,
So if I had a day all to myself.
Oh, so you get to answer
Yes,
this, too.
because this is all about he said,
I'm gonna,
she said, right?
I'm going to reel this one in.
So, guys, if you just listen to Merle's answer, it'd be interesting to see how yours compared to his, and that would be fun to hear. But for me, my day all to myself would be get up, and I would let the Lord wake me up. I would not have an alarm clock, okay? And I would get up, and I would have some quiet time. I do put Jesus in there. Like I said, doesn't make me more spiritual than you. There's like that would be... It's a rare thing anymore that we have a peaceful, quiet home with nobody around. So I would sit in my favorite chair with my Bible and some caffeine of some kind, a tea or something, and do that for a little bit. And then I would take a shower. I don't think you had a shower in there anywhere.
I do right before we go to dinner.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I would take a shower, and then I would go shopping. And I would have gift cards, so it wouldn't cost us anything, you know. Usually it's after my birthday.
Oh, wait. It wouldn't cost me anything. I'm probably not allowed to interrupt on your day.
No,
okay, I'll shut up.
So, like, hey, it's always summer in your world. It's always gift cards in mine. So,
free money.
Free money, and I would shop, and then somewhere in there I would stop at Panera and have a little Panera because that's like my favorite. And then I would come home and I would work on a project. Like I would want to clean the windows, or I would want to pull out a closet and just work on that at my own pace, in my own way. So yeah, that would just be a fun, if I met some friends for lunch at Panera, that'd be even better. But I don't like to shop with girls. I like to shop on my own, but I like to hang out with girls. So that would be
Can
fun.
I just stop?
What
a terrible way to spend a day. Is that really what you'd like to do?
Okay, so that's exactly what I'm talking about today. All right. How about favorite date you've ever had? How that you think we've ever had together? Favorite date. And by the way, we have to be a little quicker.
Yeah, I know.
Otherwise, I'm
so
stuff.
probably my favorite date actually it's a little bit more than a date but we do this kind of frequently, and that is just you and I kind of escaping, getting away, and I really just enjoy going out to get not really a crazy kind of food. I don't want it to be an experiment. I don't want to
something.
I want it to be
with.
some meat and potatoes kind of thing, and but just hanging out and talking. I think of the one special event was when we just kind of ran away and went to Lake Erie.
Yeah.
That was a little bit more than a date, but it was just like, it's just leaving the world for a while. So that would be kind of my favorite. It doesn't have to be, in fact, too complicated, too expensive. Those things just add stress to it, and I'm not about the stress of it.
Yeah, mine would be the same, going out and getting, maybe Longhorn or something very normal, and then going out and walking in the sunset, or sitting by a lake as the sun was setting, something really just peaceful. That's kind of where
Isn't that funny how as you get older, it's about seeking peace? So we are on the same page on this one.
Okay, here you go. Money was not an object. What one thing would you want to buy right now?
See, right away, this question doesn't work. You said one thing.
Oh, one thing. Just name one.
Well, we've talked about a swimming pool for a long time, putting in a nice
Seriously?
swimming pool. Why, you got some money to give me or something?
No, but I was thinking pool too.
Well, only because I know that it would be used by our family, and that would be something kind of cool. So that would be something. But, there's lots of things that we have needs for. But if it was just like, put it out there. Yeah, it'd be neat to have a nice pool for the kids. I know that they would get a big kick out of that.
Well, there you go. Out of 3 questions, one of them, we had a similar answer. Okay, last one, and this kind of gets us to our topic tonight is, when we have a disagreement on something like not that we've ever had a disagreement or anything, what is one thing you wish I would or wouldn't do? So you haven't had a chance to think about this.
Yeah, and I got to really weigh this out.
Be careful.
I have to go home with you. So I think the thing that is most difficult when we do, and I would say this goes both ways for us, but you get emotional quickly, and so you ratchet up that emotion, and that it makes me uneasy. And automatically, when you're emotional, whether it's with tears or crying or whatever it is, that shifts me into defense, but also I know whatever I say now, I'm going to hurt you. And so I kind of, that's why, and we've learned to get through a lot of that. Like, we do kind of a timeout. Like, I see you getting amped up or emotional that way, kind of back away, because emotions are you wear them on your sleeves. I don't like where emotions go in terms of us getting to a solution.
Yeah.
And so I sometimes just go, like in my mind, I'm going, don't even start that crying stuff.
Yeah, like I really try it. For me, I think it would be when you kind of throw it back in my face.
Yeah.
And you're like, whatever, oh, you never do that, and I'm like, oh, can I just like rip your tongue out right now when you say that? So yeah, that gets to me, and that ramps me
I don't think I've ever done that.
Oh, never. So surprise, guys, if you're listening, we're talking about the difference between male and female. He said, she said, surprise, we're different. I think what I really was thinking about is, just really how can we embrace the way God designed us and not go down that road in division and destruction of a relationship, but also instead to change it around to make it something positive. And I was thinking about the yin and the yang. I didn't really know much about it, so I did a little study on it. Holy cow. Did you know the yin and the yang refers to a concept originated in Chinese philosophy where their opposite forces are seen interconnected and counterbalancing.
You're getting kind of new agey there,
Oh,
babe.
I know. But have you ever seen that circle with the black and the white?
Yeah,
okay.
many times.
So this is weird. There's light and dark, day and night, good and evil. Guess which one is commonly considered the female?
I know which one is, but if I say it out loud, people are going to attack me as if I was the one who thought of it.
I did not know.
You say it. You say it.
I did not know. The yin, the dark one.
No, not the yin.
The yin. Yes, the yin is us, the female.
No, read what you have.
The yin, the dark one, the evil one. The yin is the negative, dark, feminine one.
The yin.
The yin. What did I say?
The yin. The yang.
Well, no.
The yin.
The yin. I say yin.
Y-I-N.
Yin and yang.
Yeah.
So the yang is the positive, bright,
That's
masculine.
me.
Yeah.
That's me, right?
I'm sure it was written by a male Chinese philosopher.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Well, you know the story of Adam and Eve, right?
Yeah, well, whatever. So, honey, I want to get to some practical things, okay? And so I want to get to a book that I read, over a decade ago called Love and Respect.
Yeah.
And over the past 20, 25 years, you and I have worked with hundreds, maybe even thousands of couples where we've talked about these differences between husbands and wives and male and females, our sons and our daughters. And one difference that we have really seen play out in marriages and homes today is the basic difference in need for love and respect.
Yeah.
And, Dr. Emerson Eggridge wrote this book, and I encourage everybody to get a copy of it. Like all of the resources that I was kind of recommended, I read it first, and wow, it was an eye-opener. I feel like in our own marriage, I remember, reading that book and feeling so convicted that the way I had been speaking to you and the way I've been treating you was so disrespectful. I kind of thought it was like tongue-in-cheek, sarcasm, ha-ha. But it wasn't. It was really undermining our relationship.
But, hon, we see this all the time.
Yep.
I mean, I'm dealing with it in multiple cases right now, and it's what has happened, and we talk about this, how the world has altered our view and perspective of how we see gender and how we see genders working together in relationship.
Yeah.
And the movement towards being unisex, like you should see things the way I see them, and I should see them the way you see them, and basically taking away the masculine and feminine. Yes, that we are intended to be.
Right. Now, God created us.
Yeah, He created us, and when we put those in balance, it's kind of, I've used this analogy before, but it's like, husband and wife are like a pair of shoes. You have a left shoe and you have a right shoe, all right? And they work together. They've got to work together, and so they're different. They're not the same shoe.
If you try two rights or two lefts, it doesn't work.
Now, they might still protect your feet in some way from, stubbing your toe or whatever, but they're not functional. And so in saying that, husbands, you have got to learn to respect and love the difference of your wife and how she sees the world.
Right.
But in saying that, we're asking that wives understand, and I point out the wives because this has been probably the largest cultural attack on masculinity. Yep. Toxic masculinity and all this, and we've tried to unisex, especially the male. And what a shame that is.
Right.
Because,
you talk a lot about that on Strong Dads. I love that, and I hope people will listen and tune into that.
Yeah. And so what happens is you have men sort of either not being accepted for being masculine, or they turn into total jerks. Yeah. So they go they run with it 180 degrees away,
down.
Or they're complete jerks about it, and so they become not a very good partner.
Yeah, I need to honor and respect you for how God made you. Differences. I mean, as we were just teasing, we look at the world differently. We have different preferences and ways that we would want to go about things, but God put us together to make something really beautiful that only He could do and complement one another in a way that I think is so powerful. So we don't have tons and tons of time, hon. So I do want to give some practical things that males and females can do to help complement your spouse. And even your daughters and sons, hon. We have 4 sons and 1 daughter, and we have 2 adult sons. And so how I talk to my sons, how I treat my sons is so important on how they're going to relate to me. And I don't want to shut that down.
Can you give an example, hon? So how should a mom talk to their little boy versus their young teenage growing into an adult boy?
Yeah,
man?
I mean, obviously God has put you over authority for your children to take care of them and to guide them. But when they become a young adult, you really have to transition that into a friend and a mentor and honestly let them have wings to fly and make choices and not demean them for what they want to do, the choices they make, or, maybe it's not the way you would want to do it. You got to give them a chance. And hun, and I love their relationship with you, and they do look to you and ask you about things that they don't ask me about how to fix a car or whatever, and I want that relationship with them, with you.
Yeah, and two, there's a certain point where we see, and I felt this personally, I saw it with our 2 older boys, that they want to be mommied when they're little, because it just whatever, is comforting.
I put the Band-Aid on.
Yeah, you kind of, that shoulder to cry on kind of thing. On my best day, they weren't coming to me for those things. And, sometimes I used to look at it like, well, I'm right here, dude. I can put a Band-Aid on as well as she can. Yeah. And but then all of a sudden there's a change that starts to take place, and they don't want to be mothered anymore. Right. But your desire is to still kind of mommify them and like, let me do this, let me do that. I got to do this. Did you do this? Did
I'll
you
fold
check
your laundry.
This? Yeah, and
I don't want you touching my underwear, Mom.
and I just don't want you checking on me for
Right.
every little thing, whether I did it right or wrong.
Right.
As a man, I know I'm making some mistakes.
Right.
Let me own them. And the cool part about that for a mom is to say, I trust you, but we're also going to hold you responsible for it. So if you did mess up, if you forgot to take your, your book bag to school and you're 16 years old, I'm not chasing you down to bring it to you,
Right.
Because I trust that you'll do that.
Right. So, men, I'm talking to you guys from a woman's perspective, okay? A woman feels loved, okay? You might want to get some pen and paper because this is good stuff that
Listen
could change.
to her, guys. Listen to her.
This could really change the dynamic of your family and your marriage. Women feel loved when you show her non-sexual affection. If you're groping at her when you are, wanting to hop in bed every time, that's going to turn her off. But if you kiss her or hold her hand when there's no sex expected, that's going to be a turn on for her.
You just lost 50% of your listeners.
But it will get you where you want to go, but you got to give it time to do the other things.
And so it's the different approach to the intimacy, I think, is so important in understanding.
As we said before, the ladies are more like crock pots. You have to turn them on early with the holding the hand, the kissing her cheek, and saying you love her, and then later on, that turns her on. The guys, you guys are more like microwaves. Like, just push that 30-second button, and we're going.
Yeah, and I think it's just more of the mindfulness of it and the appreciation of where each other is in that.
Yeah. So women feel loved when there's non-sexual affection, when you take the time to listen and share your feelings in your day, when you say, how was your day? And you really do sit down and listen and you care about how the things were going in the home, that makes her feel loved. When the 2 of you are able to resolve issues together, when you don't go whatever and you throw your hands up and walk out of the room, when you sit down and you're willing to say, hey, let's work this out. Like, hey, I'm here. Let's talk about it.
And maybe I can interject there. This is something we see a lot. Men want to do that, but they want to give the answer right now.
Yeah.
And they just want to solve it. Well, you should do this.
Yeah.
And guys, you need to refrain from that because she's not a car.
Yeah.
I can tell you how to fix a car, but she's a person, and we mix in
So
feelings
if you
and
would
emotions.
ask me, hey, do you want me just to listen or do you want a solution? And so sometimes I just want you to listen, so maybe ask her that. Woman feels loved when she knows you're committed, when your eyes aren't wandering, when you're talking about the sexy girl at the pool, when you're threatening to leave. Those are all things that shut a woman down. And so if you help her to feel loved, show her that you're committed to her. Tell her you love her and you're not going anywhere. You're fighting for your marriage.
Yeah, this, I can't help but to think, and this, again, we see is daily in our work that we do, pornography. Men have major issues with lust, and that's just kind of wired in us. And we've somehow qualified and excused, well, it's pornography. I'm not actually doing it. Did a whole show on this. Yeah, and if you really got the serious response from your wife about what she thought about pornography, you'd find out that it's very offensive and hurtful to her.
And it breaks the trust and it shuts her down.
Yeah.
And then the last one is praising her and valuing her opinion, asking her opinion on, different things and taking her advice. And so, again, that's how a woman feels loved. But, Hun, talk about how men feel respected. I think the ladies need to hear this from you.
Well, this is, so we are doers, workers, we're providers, we're builders, and we like when we are acknowledged for what we've provided or built.
Yeah.
And so when you tell me thanks, I'm fairly handy. I like to, although I still don't have a stupid wash machine running. But anyway.
But thank you for trying.
But I'm trying. But when you say, man, when you brag on that, that is just really, that builds me. It makes me feel valuable.
Yeah. Not just to you, but in front of you to other people.
Yeah. And so just showing appreciation for the work. Talking as if I mean something to you in front of other people, I think is big. Okay, when you appreciate how I'm leading the family, and asking me to do that, to that tells me, that's a reminder you want me in that position, whether it's to lead in prayer. Or to lead on a decision. So the buck stops at Dad in terms of, so what's the final decision on this?
But if you give a decision and I undermine it or question it, then that just shuts you down. You're not going to offer that again.
Right, and this is where we've become unisex, and that idea that, well, everybody gets to weigh in. It's like, if it's to that way, if every time I say something it's going to get demeaned or twisted around, I'm going to just shut up.
Right.
Or I'm going to fight, and that's going to get ugly too.
Yeah.
And I think this one goes both ways, to show that each other's opinion has value. And if you're going to ask, then please listen. I think if you're going to ask, listen to my opinion, that means a lot. Otherwise, don't ask me.
Yeah, exactly.
Hanging out. One of the things that I enjoy doing is like those date nights. I don't care whether we go to Panera or where we go. It's just kind of hanging out.
Although you do say it checks your man card at the door.
I probably choose a steak or something. But just hanging out, being together is just, you're a friend to me as well as my wife. And so I like just to hang out.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I think fulfilling sexual needs and desires. I think sex, men can abuse it, and women can abuse it just as well. Women can use it as leverage, and
withhold
men,
it.
And so when sex and intimacy is being used as a tool rather than an expression of love, I think it's really it's a mind game for us men. And so oftentimes I think that's another push towards pornography, or, well, I'll just go someplace else because I'm not the
other person.
Yeah, I'm not going to play this game if that's the way it's going to be played.
Right, yeah. So those are all practical ways that you can show your spouse that you love and respect them. Like I said, Love and Respect is a book. There are also ones for your family. There's ones for mothers and sons specifically that really was helpful to me. Each couple is unique, hon, and it's not going to be like a one fix all. But just step back in your relationship with your spouse or even your children and look at what's causing conflict. Could it be that you're looking through, like for me, the pink sunglasses, or for you, the blue sunglasses? That conflict could be because God intended you to be different, and He never intended you to be the same way and to look at things in the same way. So check out the book, Love and Respect. Get some help. Jesus Christ is our rock, and we believe that we continue to trust in Him for the answers, and He's got a reason. He's got a plan for your marriage and your family. So don't give up. Look up, lean in, and trust Him for the answers.
Yeah, can I just say to that, Jesus is our rock because He provides the basis for how we interact.
Right, the unshakable foundation.
Right, and so that's the importance of that. Oh my gosh, I just looked at the clock. It is time to close things out. Well, hey, listeners, we want to thank you for listening. Please, if you're having some concerns in the marriage or the family or anything with fitness, reach out and get a hold of us at rocksolidfamilies.org or 812-576-7625. Special thanks to Maxwell Construction, Greendale Cinemas, Mansfield Insurance Agency, and Erie Insurance. Thanks for listening tonight, and get out there and make it a great day.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Rock Solid Radio. For help or more information about what you've heard this evening, contact us at rocksolidfamilies.org or call us at 812-576-ROCK. That's 812-576-ROCK. Again, a huge thanks to our sponsors, Maxwell Construction, Greendale Cinemas, Mansfield Insurance Agency, and Erie Insurance. If you have questions you'd like answered on air, or you want to chime in on something you've heard this evening, go to our Facebook page, Rock Solid Families. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to tune in next Sunday evening at 7:30 for another episode of Rock Solid Radio. I'm Linda Hutchinson, and for my husband Merrill and I, thanks for tuning in to your hometown radio, Eagle Country 99.3.